large and much needed win for Big, as they do manage to take us to a third. We do get to have a lovely dust2 to get the climax and to get the answer to which team is being eliminated here. It's the last elimination match before we head over to the arena, and this best of 3 is going all the way. I'm joined by Sponge and Moses, myself Machine, attempting to host this one, and we're talking a little bit more about the fact that we do get to see Big coming into Overpass with a bit of a refreshed mindset, looking to bounce back, and they do so convincingly. Chad, is the question.
Yeah, I think that first half they should have converted a few more of those rounds, right? The clock was their biggest enemy in their T side. They were a lot more structured, like we kind of foreseen. That's what we thought was going to happen. And yeah, for sure, they had a lot more moves on their T side, a lot more structure, a lot more strategies. And sure, the likes of Smooth didn't come alive on the T side, like we said, but then when you go to the CT side, a lot more impact with that AWP. That trio over towards the B bomb side, Tabs and Tizian and Old Mate next, they were getting it done, Tabson and Tizian, yeah. So they're actually able to lock things down. And I think you can see from NTC that they didn't really have a lot of strats. They used one on an eco round that they were able to convert, and there's a bit of messiness at Big, but from there it was just contact plays, and lucky Cello was winning some clutches and making some rounds very close, otherwise it could have been a blowout.
I thought, I was going to say, I thought NTC was very fortunate to be in this game, not only by the mistakes with the clock and everything early on in that first half, but you could see Big recovered and was able to eventually take the money away from NTC and actually claw in some rounds. NTC wasn't able to do the same thing. They only got those 2 rounds in the second half and lost after both of them, but they had at one point that Big was so close to being reset. Like, one of their buys was just like, that was the last of the cash. And if they could have won that, that's where maybe NTC is able to fight on the stretch. Maybe you get them in some awkward purchases, towards the last few rounds, and NTC could never really capitalize on it, just because you could see new teams still unfamiliar with the T-sides on some maps, and maybe a lot of maps, as their trained T-side wasn't really that convincing either. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, what was interesting to me is that when you look at NTC, we got to see the Cello performance you guys have been talking about. Mate, even though it was in a in a loss, I should say, Cello still had an outstanding game. There was a couple of that ace was stolen away from him by Phelps, but all round on the offense and defense, this was a spectacular 4K. Actually, getting almost all of them. Phelps stealing the last.
He had a clutch. He had a clutch as well, where he got 4 kills. Where if he'd been able to find the final one-on-one, and sometimes that's what you need. I mean, obviously, just enough is done by NTC throughout this game to keep it close and to keep themselves in a position to win, and that's really cool to see a new team do in a map like this, because you're at least giving yourself a shot down the stretch where you're not necessarily prepared, but you have a chance to steal one away. You have the individuals that can come together and have that kind of a performance.
And I do want to move into dust2 as well. I mean, we could sit here and talk about FNX being the highest rated player from NTC and how exciting that can be, but instead I think we should focus on that next map. Now, it is going to be dust2, the newest map to the map pool.
Look, and just taking over one key factor from that Overpass game that was a free-flowing T-side from NTC that would allow players like KNG, those fiery types who make plays, to go and have those options of finding entry kills and turning those situations in favor of NTC. We didn't see that happen on Overpass T-side, right? He didn't get going at all. He was the lowest frag, and now look, when you have a volatile playstyle like that, sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it isn't. In this case, I didn't even see him really getting a chance to get stuck in and go for those plays. They didn't find room so he could play in the mid-rounds, and when it was players in the mid-rounds, it was Cello. Now, moving on to dust2, KNG is going to be hugely influential. The way that he moves around with that orb, how mobile he can be. Now, look, they've only played this map once, Alex, and they won it, but they've only played this map once.
Yeah, against two.
Against one of these
local team?
Yeah, it was
I'll find out for you. Keep going, Chad.
I have it right here.
You're
Furia.
both just looking for Furia. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit quicker than Jason.
So that race wins. Congratulations. Yeah. But I'm just wondering, that doesn't really tell us anything.
Nothing at all. This is the problem we have. And then this Core 5 roster with Smooth, and we haven't even seen them play dust2 at all. With Tizian, they played it, and they also have only played it once, and that was versus Windigo, and they won.
Yeah, so this is, what a high octane matchup. No, I think the ops are going to come down. This is where you want to see someone like Smooth, a new addition to this desk, where you can have freedom with the AWP. Yeah. You want to see that double op setup that we saw in Train be so effective for NTC on the CT side. But I think more importantly, it's got to be KNG, because on Overpass, like Chad said, it can be tough on the T side with the op. You need your AKs to create space for you. So here on dust2, should be all him.
Yeah, absolutely. So got thrown under the bus a little bit.
No, you did.
Jason's abrupt stop.
Yeah, listen, it's been a while since I've been on the desk, so there's signals. There's some new signals that I'm not. That means there's plenty of time.
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, let's give you the numbers.
Can I salvage his time and do something with it?
Yeah, but the cameraman decided that meant that, like, let's put him on camera. Like, he's doing it again. Look at this. This guy's mad.
It's every time. Every time. Alex.
He's having a whale of a time. He's like, God, this must be important.
All right. The key factors. Here's the key factors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The AWP of KNG, which has kind of been missing other than that end of the train game, is going up against that of Smooth. Smooth done fantastically well thus far. Obviously, Tabson and Nex need to keep going. Nex used to be a really good player on dust2, so if we can see that come out again from him, positive signs for Big. FNX is going to be put in anchor position on that CT side. We need more from Phelps on the entry frags, and Cello's clutches keep him coming.
2 minutes, he said, not 30 seconds.
Hey, wait, ready for this one?
Yeah. 1 minute?
Yeah.
Nice. I got that signal.
That's the
that
longest
was
2 minutes
of
my life.
No, but if
I'm not talking, I don't need to be on camera.
If you even look back to Overpass, that was the perfect recipe for Big to win that, because we said, you know, Nex is always going to be a little bit up and down in his performances. They had Tabson with a god tier performance, with a great performance. They had Nex kind of coming in as the sidekick and backing him up in a really good way. And then you really only need the other 3 guys to kind of contribute in a healthy manner. You don't need them to go like nuts. And it was God B with, I think, 20 kills. So I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for.
Here's a fun fact: in the maps of dust2, the one map on record for each team, both teams won both pistols.
Wow, now that's pretty much the scraps. We're at the bottom of the barrel. We've only seen them play it once apiece, and so this is going to be very brand new information. They want to see Phelps on the entry. They want to see Smooya on the AWP on either side, as it is Big and NTC. Will NTC see the Brazilian crowd, or will it be taken away from them by the German roster with that UK twist? It's time to find out, though. We're jumping into the server for dust2, our 3rd map in our first game here on day 2 of ESL One Belo Horizonte. Over to you, Henry G. And I said the name wrong.
All right, then. Well, fair enough. You didn't even say mine, so you couldn't get that wrong, Henry. We're finally going to see dust2. I'm really glad I did my makeup today. 0-0, that's how things start on the pistol. But remember, there have only been 2 pistol losses throughout this entire event for NTC. Smooya, excuse me, has got other ideas. This time around, 3 quick kills as he burrows inside of the pit and the bomb gets dropped. They'll wrap up from middle, and it's completely surrounding Cello and FNX.
Well done, Smooya. 3 headshots for him. Battling alone towards long. He will go down eventually. Needs to be careful. They've lost plenty of 4 versus 2s to this squad. And now it's another one that's about to begin. Godby will be dropped as well, and this could go horribly wrong. Tabson's there, though, to finish things off in style. Really good stuff from Smooya to give him a huge lead there. Did start to get a little bit problematic, but overall Big with a comfortable pistol there with 3 players surviving. And Smooya brings out the rifle straight away. He's looking very strong there to kick things off towards long. That was the long take. Remember, dust2, very spawn-based, very puggy, and will come down to the brutal 1 versus 1. I especially expect NTC to do well there. We know they've got a lot of talent on that squad in terms of individual performances. FNX, Phelps, aggressive players, KNG on the AWP. You'd think this would be the perfect map. That smoke is anything but perfect, though. It was designed to go on towards the Xbox, but Smooya will get information now. They're heading towards short. Goes for the first kill. Lots of damage done. Takes Phelps down to 10, but can't find the first frag just yet. So there we go. This is going to be the 4 spy, remember, from NTC. Final map of this series. Loser does go home. Smoke's deployed towards short. Big have looked like the better squad overall in terms of units, tactically. And towards middle they go. Smooya struggling with that one. Dinks another. The 2 of them low HP, but couldn't find a kill there.
Cello pushing back out from middle. Remember that exploiting middle used to be one of the keys to this map, because once you take middle, it becomes so impossible to hold. Tizian's going to have to back away with the MP9, so they will have to go for a retake. The question is, can they get the bomb down comfortably? KNG crosses over, takes damage in doing so. We'll put it in default. Here we go. Challenge on for Big. To the broken window. Throw the op. Let's bring back some legendary plays. Certainly taking their time about it, but they'll go now. Crossfire set. Phelps actually kills off KNG after firing at Gob. They crossfire too effective because it aimed at each other. That gives Godby a better chance to go back in and find Cello, but they're gonna have to back away. So NTC's turn, despite not winning a pistol, to respond with an eco slash force buy win. Credit to them. It's been their nemesis. They finally dish it out instead.
Well, there it is. Smooya does manage to dink 2 players at the very start, then gets dropped by the Deagle. He's asking the HP. I'm sure you can hear that ticking away in the chat right now. He did a lot of it, but as soon as he went down, that meant B was wide open. Tizian couldn't hold them off, and Tabson and Godby didn't fancy their chances. They'd rather save the MP7 and the M4 here and have another chance in round number 3. Problem is NTC bring out 3 AKs now, a couple of SMGs themselves. And who will come out on top here? Double scout setup for the German squad as Godby. Like we said, that spawn-based gameplay is going to be a factor here. Tabson good for 1.5. Takes Cello down to 8 HP, but now the man advantage firmly on the T side. Next, remember, got the scout. 2 players are in 1 shot potential for him. KNG to challenge first. Will they smoke the crossover? Surely they will. It's a flash, and they're going to challenge together. This is the nightmare.
That's actually legit observing. Back and forth with each of the shots. Rapid fire, some scout shots. Smooya does hit 1. It is a bit of a nightmare. They've got to cross long. You need the smokes down. You can't do it. They put the Molotov instead. They're going to back away. Thankfully, for their sake, no one's pushed up middle. They do have a player in lower tunnels, mind you.
It's weird. They had a man advantage, a minute on the clock. They could have fallen back towards middle, continued with the default, but they wanted the cross with no smoke. That doesn't make any sense to me. You had 1 flash, and then you just completely offer yourself up. The scouts mow them down. So that was a bit of a disaster for NTC. You can see them certainly lacking in their mid-round decision-making skills. 4 on 2. Well, sorry, 3 on 2, I should say. Bits makes his way towards short now. The other player going towards the B tunnels. That's, of course, going to be FNX. Tizian's there waiting for him, though. 30 seconds remaining. Need to get a move on here. Tizian will hold them at bay, maybe funnel them in the other direction. FNX trying to pick up this frag, which he probably will. A little bit of a mess, but he gets the frag, but it's down on 2 HP. Smoke is perfect by Smooya. That's going to push them back towards where I don't think they have time to even plant now. Definitely not.
Tizian combines with Nex to get the shot at a bit. And FNX on 7 HP, so I credited them for finally winning in a second round. They lose in the third. It's similar to how we started things off on Overpass's second half. And now we find ourselves 2-1 for Big with them back in the money. With an AK carried over as well for Smooya. He's going to give it to Tabson.
Yeah, why not? Tabson is an absolute god with the AK. You want to get in his hands as much as possible. Remember, the guy's touching as well. Nex used to be a real specialist on dust2 and mouse sports. His B bomb side control was quite legendary at points, how good he was on the CT side. We'll see if he can show us any of that. Nex does not use the AK this time. He's going to be using the scout and find another headshot there. That's KNG being dropped. This is, I'm sure it's a full investment. It is indeed from the Brazilians, so that's a great shot to find. Tags up Phelps as well. Now we'll head towards shore now. Got a couple of flashbangs to make their entry, but smoked off again.
You can't quite see through that smoke. Good time to toggle the X-ray so you can get a better idea. It sometimes seems like with X-ray it's so defined that when they're on the edge of the smoke they're visible, they're not. Contrast is not quite so abrupt. From the player POV, as Gobby will back off, smoke down. Flash timing is good. It's slightly late in the fact that he's able to distribute damage, but they get out from the cave. He'll call for Nex to get in position with the scout and support. Good damage done, and further on to Bit. Nex will close onto FNX, and a headshot to Bit. And all 3 of those shots, gets 2 kills for it. 2 versus 4 for Big. Bomb plant needed to be the goal. They're not really close to doing so. Finally, we'll get some activity toward Catwalk. We haven't seen that yet. Phelps just chilling. Bomb plant's going to be difficult when you consider that Nex is still watching it with that scout. What a round it's having. Straightforward, mind you. I mean, it is a pretty good angle to use it, but you don't often see the scouts even against pistols get so much work done. And Tabson does find 2 in the end with that AK.
3 for Nex and 3 for Big. They have a firm lead now. That was a force buy again from NTC, and you can see that shot. I have to say, NTC aren't really impressing me so much with their defaults. The mid-round decision-making hasn't been amazing either. But it's very early days here. We'll see if they can bounce back. Should be the eco for now. P250's Glocks, 1 flashbang, suggesting like a B-rush will be coming in, just bouncing that flash off the tunnel entrance. Get in there. Might wait for the initial grenades. And they might not even get a chance here. Smooya with 2, looking for a bit more here as he falls back. He knows they'll be chasing him, and he has to pull out the USB at this point. If he can get 1 more, I'll be very happy with that. Not going to happen. That should be the round secure, though. Tizian spotted the player running to the corner. Going to pre-fire that, get the bomb. Already gets his kill as well. Nothing to get too excited about. That's good for Smooya, though. The fact he goes down is not such a big deal. He farmed $1,200 cash there. He wants to use the orb as quickly as possible. Bring that out round now. I'm almost certain of it. It's dust2, so you'd expect him to absolutely do so. Has he been dropped yet? I'm not sure. He hasn't purchased it himself, at least. And there it is. He's going to use a scout, actually. So being very conservative with the money spent. Big opting for the smoke at the doors. A few teams have chosen to double nades instead and save the smoke. Smooth though, I really think the orb was the better bet here. Considering he just won rounds, you just want to guarantee him. Just the row. Next, playing incredibly well on dust2 so far, looking for the double kill. Not quite going to get it, but sets up Smooth up. Bits down to 9 HP, but the frag not converted just yet. 4 versus 4, but you feel like Big are being a lot more assertive than NTC right now. Just exploring towards short, 2 players there. That's got B and Tabson. Long is open for now, but that's fine. Tabson can fall back and watch a crossover. Tizian and Smooya in the B bomb site, leaving middle exposed as well, but they are looking at all the angles. Tizian at those double doors is making sure that no one can push through.
Got B. Downed by Cello. Good control of Catwalk attained. Tabson stuck on top of the site. One of the favorite positions to play because you always feel like you're under threat, but very easy to make a mistake and overstep it. He doesn't even get the headshot angle to present itself as Cello finds him just waiting. Trying to be patient, trying to be evasive, and not wanting to be spotted from long in doing so. Smooya and Tizian. Potential to save on this. They've got money enough to buy into the next round. They know that every single kill they get against NTC will certainly hinder them economically, but they don't even want to fancy it. I thought maybe they'd try and hold them around the bomb. Not even going to go for that.
Well, hold on to their cash. Tizian with 5k. Smooth up. Still with that scout.
That scout's in good position right now as well.
It is. You can jump up in these boxes these days, and doesn't land the shot just yet. And he might be in trouble now. The orb looking in his direction. That's KNG, of course, who's still waiting towards short. Doesn't hit that one. We're really waiting for that battle to heat up. Smooth versus KNG, both quite flashy orbers. Both like a flick shot. 7 kills so far for Smooth, but 3 of those within the pistol. Want to see him pick up the AWP, but still not going to see it just yet. Stays in the scout. Tabson brings out the first AWP. So there we go. Double sniper setup. Round 7 here. NTC pulling back a couple of rounds. KNG's got that long spawn. You're almost certain he's going to take it. It is a spawn-based map. If you get the long spawn like that, you've got to go for the pick as they try to cross over to the pit. But good incendiary from the CT. You can see what KNG wanted to do there. Sit in the fire for a few seconds and hope they peek after that. Got B though. He'll be trying to answer back. Pushed the Molotov himself. Did a lot of damage. That's he'll just fall back. It is a bit of a war going on towards those long doors right now.
Still shots ricochet through. No one really there on the other side of it. It's always going to be a point of exchange no matter what they do to this map, no matter how they change it. Mid-cross certainly hasn't been as much of a factor, it seems. Haven't seen any one-hit wonders.
No, I haven't. I've casted it maybe 5 times now. I think I've seen 1 kill on the cross so far. So it doesn't seem as impactful as it once was. The 1 smoke seems to be more than enough. So not so much of a conversation point. It's actually a bit more exciting with the power play does come through with the opening kill.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of a team. I mean, it was exciting to watch, and I understand that it was a part of the map. It still is, but I wasn't a fan of a team going down that early without much to do in return. Tizian getting Cello, does hold off the site, and Tizian's in toward the closet. He's burned his teammate alive, but that was all an attempt to keep him alive. It was all to hold off the window. He might just get away with it, though. He might actually get toward the ace. It's Tabson instead that closes it out. 5-2, good hold.
He got 5 kills, but one of them was the teammate.
True, good point.
So I guess that's an ace of some sort, but yeah, you're absolutely right. He wanted to Molotov. The teammate was unlucky. The flames spilled over beneath the window, but he was trying to defend Smooya there, so he wins the round. Can't be too mad at him for that. He got 4 kills. Great performance for Tizian. Big round for them to pick up as well. Double orb set up for the first time on the big side. They had orb scout before. Technical timeout for NTC though, so we could have a little bit more time just to discuss what's happened so far. NTC did not win the pistol. They did come back and win the second round force buy though, so they currently find themselves at 5-2. Money not in an amazing position. FNX on the pistol here. Phelps with 3k. Yet to buy anything. He could go for Galil, Kevlar, or more likely we'll go for CZ as well. I'm going to be utility. We'll see. It's a TeamSpeak issue, of course. Consider some different software at this point.
Yeah, you'd think that something better might have come along, or that there was some sort of internal esports specific LAN program that someone could have built by now for not just Counter-Strike, for Dota, for League of Legends, for, hey, heck, Fortnite now. Not that you really have teammates to talk to. I don't know how they play Fortnite. I haven't watched it. I'm not knocking on it. I haven't watched it. I don't know what the rule set is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. PUBG, you can do it. You've got teams of 4. Point is, there's definitely a market for it.
There were some companies that did it. I think the Call of Duty, they used the wired headset to go to each other.
That's true.
Either way.
You could. This is going to be a decent exchange, and one, in fact, quite convincingly by Big as they shut down NTC on entry. This is going to go 6-2 unless KNG can do something absolutely miraculous. You could run a rally-style box. Yep. Similar to what you do in a rally card. You just plug in multiple headsets, like you're saying.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying with
COD. That's what doing Call of Duty. There is no software there. It's all hardware-based. It's a one box. I can't remember who makes it. I think it's Astro. You plug all the headsets into one box, and then you plug your sound in separately, and you can all chat to each other via hardware. But either way, that is a completely different subject altogether. 6-2, NTC went for the long rush there. We did say long would be a massive conversation point, but Big holding it off effectively. It's going to be another eco now for the Brazilian squad. Loser is going home. And to be fair, the way NTC have played this tournament, they've got some great players, but it doesn't seem they're ready for a big playoff or an arena performance just yet. They need to work on the formation of the squad. The fundamentals need to be picked up a little bit more. As the opening pick should be a clean sweep here for the Big side. So yeah, almost certainly going to get that kill. Takes down KNG. tabs in. Smiley falls back. Doesn't have to give away that orb. That could make things a little bit more problematic than they have to be. Now, even if he goes down, the orb can't be recovered. But this is getting a little bit dicey. Got B. Starting those shots. There's the first. That should be crisis averted. FNX, 27 HP and dealt with in due course. So he's going to get the final frag. 7-2. CT half going very well indeed for Big. Third and final map here of the first best of 3 of the day. We've got some great games coming up.
We do, absolutely. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is we move into this what is going to be a very loud arena tomorrow. And that puts some pressure on teams today, NTC being one of them. If they want to get into that arena, they're going to have to clean things up. There's a look at the mid-cross. No kills so far for KNG. He's got the AWP. Smooya wants to challenge it.
So he's probably aware of how KNG likes to play the AWP. That's one thing his coach will be making him do. You've got to watch how he operates. I think there's only one demo available of KNG on this map, but still, it'll be enough to know his tendencies. He knows that box could be a factor. Good grenade. Where did that come from? Was that towards lower? I think it was. Thrown by Tabson as he hits Cello and indeed Bit and lower B with a perfect HE. To do about 50 damage to both of them.
Poor guys are walking away.
Wounded.
KNG still holding his patience. Next got behind the doorway. It could have been a double peak position, but KNG's going to give up eventually and then work toward long, having eaten that grenade. Phelps is already out from the long cave, so that's beneficial for them. In fact, are they going to set for the boost and smokes toward Catwalk? I saw Phelps getting in position. It looks like they might try and isolate Tabson and force the AWP to get aggressive. KNG, good read, good preset aim as he fires, and Tabson, despite spotting the head, had no chance to react. The second player, same position. Flash is going to catch KNG, won't be able to do anything with it, so that gives Smooya the cross. Again, the cross becomes a problem. Bomb is down, and it's not over. They might have to go for the throw. They've made it. They've got to smoke down late, so Smooya can't see it, and Phelps will get the plant with 29 seconds. There's 3 players left to try and retake the site. Finally, an advantage for NTC. Good hold from FNX as well to read back toward mid. 1 kill, identifies a second, 12 HP, no need to go down on a trade. They've got a 4 versus 2 back off play inside of the site off of your teammates.
That should be the round. Smooya almost pulls the trigger on the player retreating back towards long there. He knows he's a little bit isolated here, wants to try and take another player down with him. Shots are close, but not quite close enough. Bomb will be going off any second now. NTC will take the round. Smooya just retreats to save the AWP. Their money is absolutely fine on the CT side. KNG making sure that no one challenges those long doors. All 3 players will survive here for the Brazilian squad. Bomb goes off. This time the long take a little bit more effective. Tabson, Tizian and Gob go down, but like we said, that money is fine. Tabson can bring out the double orb again if he wants to. It's KNG waiting for his opportunity to get the first kill. Completely rails Tabson there. We have a nice shot on the long crossover, pushing through that smoke and CT spawn, but wasn't quite enough to deny the bomb cross. Have a look at the scoreboard over here. Feels appropriate time to do so. Bit 2 and 9 at the bottom, and at the top for FNX and Co. is indeed him. He's going to be there at the very top. 6 and 8. 10 for Smooya and 5 for God B. So that's the top and bottom of each of the squads. You can see the scoreboard there on your screens right now. Double AWP setup does come out once again. Round number 11. Coming to the final stages now of the first half. Best of 3 series has gone the full distance here. And the AWP's out for KNG. He's currently positioned in towards suicide once again. Secondary AWP of Big is on short. That's where Cello and Phelps are heading as he removes one of them. What a great setup that is. You can see taps and goes to the first shot. As soon as he takes it, his teammate is there. That's got B with the incendiary just to buy him some time, remove the trade potential, and they just hold them off even further. Another incendiary drop towards short. Phelps just has to wait now. Nothing they can do to get that frag back in return.
Next, still holding off toward middle. They haven't been as aggressive about holding it, and certainly not pushing toward the B tunnels at all as of yet. Good nade, as you mentioned a couple rounds ago that we saw. In fact, that was in the last round, if I'm not mistaken, when they crossed over, finally went back toward A. With no one out there this time, they're certainly considering the push. It still is a map that you very much need information on. It's tough to push, but at the same time, you can't leave a gap anywhere on the T side. Seems very similar, although I will say this game's pace is considerably slower than often what we see on dust2. You mentioned that this could be some sort of a chaotic map between these two. This Crossfires was solid last time that Tizian was inside of the closet. This time it's Next that's going to get baited in with the aggro stolen away from Tizian, who stays alive long enough to take down FNX in trade. That gives them just Phelps to find, because Smooya's got KNG. That's on the cross, but not the mid. It's the B cross from CT spawn, and Phelps is spotted. Not taken down as of yet, but spotted with 2 seconds. Take him down after this round. Oh, Phelps. Careful. Gone. No money.
Absolutely not. $900 only for this round. It's 8-3. The reset comes through. Once again, NTC haven't posted consecutive rounds once here on dust2. Great shot from Tapson. That's what I was talking about. His teammate just behind him there with the incendiary. As soon as he gets that kill, that's deployed. Buys them some time. And now Phelps with no cash. And they'll get $1,900 next round. He still won't have enough even with a full eco. So are they going to force into this and try and steal the round away? If they did, KNG can get Galil armor. Pretty much the same story for an FNX. He can get AK and Kevlar. They'd have 3 pistols with it. It still would be very weak. That's the play here. Timeout. 30 seconds to discuss with the coach. Saw how passionate their Angman was in the first map, which they picked up, which was Train. Couldn't contain himself. So Phelps will spend all the money he has. He only had $900 to be fair, so he'll take himself down to 0. They're not going to force into this necessarily. Phelps has, but didn't really have much choice. The rest of them, Glocks, as a deagle for FNX, should be 9 rounds here for Big.
Tabson holding from the car. This position is slightly different than it used to be. That corner's not much different, but the car itself doesn't have the flames behind it. Good 2 kills, finally taken down by FNX in return. Next, great position in mid. He's been playing the swing, rotating from either inside of B or at those doors, and finally he'll get the shot to Catwalk. I say finally because he's played there a few times, but smokes have deterred his vision. Okay, Smooya, that's pretty quick and dead accurate to find FNX. I've got to hype up that shot a little bit. That's not easy to hit. 9-3.
There we go. Big in cruise control right now, NTC. And a lot of trouble. The finances have been completely shut down. Phelps still with only $1,900 and 4 kills. It's actually 4 kills for Phelps, KNG, and Cello. Really has not gone well. Smooya on 13. More than those 3 combined. So, double AWP set up. Back out again. KNG with the AWP, but no armor. Phelps only with that pistol, so Smooya's going to flash over towards middle, see what's available to him. You can see how effective that flash was. KNG has to drop off. Taps and boosted from short. You can see they have got a lot of setups on this particular map. Good grenade plays and now a boost with the AWP. See if they can find double digits first.
Flash to Catwalk, Tabson with that boost, trying to spot in toward lower. We haven't seen some of the clever tactics that Dust does offer, some of these boosts, some of these positions to get to lower, push through mid doors early on from a CT to catch them in transition to B. We haven't seen a lot of that in this game. It's very straightforward. That nade could be massive as they creep up long. No smoke down again. tabseN playing a very off angle, though. That'll let them buy flash instead. Next gets one. Now they know they're there. They're there, excuse me, as tabseN has the option to go aggressive with the AWP. Instead, he finds Phelps back toward Catwalk. That's what he had to do. Otherwise, he was done and would be taken down on Dust. Smokes himself off. Bit's still going to get a plant off the back of it. And tabseN on 3 HP after that Molotov lands. They'll double up the one on the site. Bit has nowhere to go, but again, bomb is already planted, so his job done for now. Cello needs headshots. Keeps his head down. KNG's going to support it by getting Tizian together on the ramp. AWP is fine in this position unless they start to hunt and close it down. KNG finds tabseN. He had nowhere to go, but that box was going to hold him in position the whole time, and Smee has changed it up. He's gone, and Cello had no idea that he's there. He knows KNG has to be toward Cat somewhere. Head shows, pistol play, goes for the kill and gets it. He's got time as well. Just barely gonna have time, but well played from Smooya. It's now 10-3.
Great play from him. That's a big round, 2 versus 1 clutch. Luckily, the final player there had the AWP as well. Thinks fast on his feet, pulls out that P250, gets the swift kill, and the defuse by the skin of his teeth there. Great retake, though, from Big generally. Great Molotov usage there, and tabseN is staying alive as long as possible. That jump up, Smooya just about spots the player. P250 comes out, finishes things off. Close range, just through the box there. It will be 10-3. Indeed, they do find double digits, and the Lost Burner sits at 3rd stage for NTC. Only a couple rounds to go, and they'll take a partial by here. That could be an opening kill. Next. So flashed here, trying to stay alive. The grenades will come through, and Phelps knows it, and he'll go down, courtesy of a USP.
Yeah, next. Not bad. USP to start it off. Smooya getting pushed back. Finally, they'll put some pressure toward the mid doors. 10-3, and TC showing that depth is certainly an issue in maps. We've now seen them on 4 different maps. Train, Mirage, Overpass, dust2. They've lost on all. dust2 is inconclusive at this point. They've lost on all, but the only win comes on Train. tabseN just sitting and holding with the AWP. Has a few targets trying to bait shots from him. Unfortunately, it's hook, line, and sinker as Cello goes down. FNX does get Gobby back as he dropped in towards CT. Still has that M4 to work with. Sees head. Couple different targets. They're all tripping over themselves. Bit doesn't get either of them. So close yet so far. 11-3 as we hit round 15.
11-3. We thought dust2 would be a great arena for NTC here. It lends itself to puggy setups and high skill players. Haven't really seen much of them at all in the fragging department. The highest amount of frags they've got is 9 after 14 rounds. 2 for Bit, 5 for Cello, 5 for Phelps. The players are really above and beyond in the earlier maps. Can't get anything going here. dust2 just doesn't seem that well practiced for them at all. There's been lots of defaults, lots of spawn-based play, but nothing too technical here. Nothing that Big can't handle. Smooya pushing towards up, nails the first shot, tries to get away. Gonna do it, maybe get a second here. Gets punished for the re-peek. It stays alive. And it's gonna be a B-split coming through. tabseN taken down to just 46 points of health there by Phelps. They don't commit towards B. God B does commit towards a long push though. Nails the shot, takes down Phelps. Will fall back here, doesn't have to fight any longer.
FNX gonna work out toward the door. Flash straight high in the sky from Bit. And it's gonna work to catch out tabseN, and therefore so too the AK will find the kill, as they desperately needed to pull one back. Smoke already set though, and they won't burn next. Or at least get him so hot that he's gotta move. Good find. Smooya taking down Cello. Still concerned about mid, but that's covered off from CT. Next can find the shot, surely. Done. So to the round, surely, because Smooya can go back and control the angle. 12-3, very convincing CT half from Big. Again, not really much depth shown from NTC. Big didn't really have to do anything special. They held all the choke points. They won the control of long pretty much every single round that it was a battle.
There we go. You're absolutely right there, but Smooya did a great job, to be fair. The fact he's still got the audacity to peek that angle and show that he's not going to back down really does send out quite a stern message. And remember, they did win the pistol this time. Big now rolling over. They lost the second round for Spy, but still got 12 rounds on the board. That should be them progressing out of this best of 3. I just don't see NTC posting the same sort of numbers here on dust2. They've just rolled over on the T side. CT can be even more difficult to coordinate. You can't group her up as a 5-man unit and get in towards bomb sites. Use your AK aim. get into it. It will be a tactical purchase, of course, from Big here. They got 4 flashbangs, a smoke Molotov. You know they're going to have something quite spicy here for the pistol, boosting 2 players up towards shore. They'll be hunting for intel there, and it's going to be up to FNX, who holds long. 5 players out of long here for Big. What's the play? Presumably smoking crossover, Molotov in the bomb site or short. Smoothie gives the bomb over, and he'll be in the pits.
Phelps.
Watch out behind you, boys.
That's a brilliant position. Time is everything, and he's got teammate and KNG with him. It's the same play almost in reverse. They didn't quite get the early kills at long, but they flank and hold. Problem is they've given up A site in the meantime, so although it's similar to what we saw from Big, NTC don't get the same advantage. They'll split up this time, go 2-2 on essentially a retake, but little do they know the bomb is not in contention to be planted. It's still on the ramp. They're going to certainly allow it to be picked up if they continue that fashion. Tapson getting the shot on Bit, Cello versus 2. Damage slightly at 4. Has both firing his direction, and both pistols go to Big, so well played to them. They'll actually prevail in pistols in this series.
It looked like it was going to fall apart. That good flank from NTC towards the top of middle, getting behind them along, but couldn't really capitalize there, even with God B and an awkward situation still with long doors running out of ammo in the clip there, but it will be 13-3 now. Couple of Galils, make it 3, couple of AKs there. And the force buy, of course, from NTC, everyone has to fully invest. They cannot afford to lose this round. 14-4 for Nico means the game's over. They've had so many struggles with the finances here. And it's coming to a head now, this game. Such a massive lead for Big. And they're not messing around with any SMGs here. First kill could come through. And the next down to 8 HP. Still alive and kicking for now, though, as they head their way towards short. Phelps will be waiting in towards Goose. And there will be KNG, presumably with the scout on the A ramp. Indeed it is.
The lineup toward Catwalk. 13-3 for Big and a pistol. Certainly doesn't bode well.
You see that cheeky smoke, that's going to have a little gap in it. And KNG has the headshot there, but he does at least connect one, but punished by Smooya.
Yeah.
As the player he hit initially as well, so that should be in. Phelps can get a double here, which I don't think is possible with multiple players coming around the corner. He cannot. Still a 3 versus 3. FNX very low. And Tapton will finish Bits off. That looks like that round will be done. Remember, they will have almost no money. It's going to be 14-4. They can't eco the next round. They can't let it go 15-3. That's not really going to be recoverable. Nice shot from Tapson. This has been a much better performance from Big. They are a much better unit, I would say. Pound for pound, NTC probably have some more talented players available, more experience arguably as well. But they haven't really shown us what they're capable of here on dust2 whatsoever. Overpass was pretty weak on their T side as well. And they probably need a little bit more LAN experience before they can really call themselves a team that's ready to be considered a danger in these sort of tournaments. Beaten 2-0 yesterday. They have managed to win a map in this particular series, but could all be in vain. 14-3 down. It looks like they might take a full eco here. So they're not going to invest everything they can. They're going to allow it to get the 15-3. Good luck. It's pretty much pick your poison at that point, though.
Yeah, there's not much you're going to be able to do. Nate goes deep. Smooya takes the brunt of it. SMG's not really finding much at that range, to be fair. Smooya and Tapson have to arrive with the AKs before the kills start to pile up in their favor. Cello has nowhere to hide inside of the pit. And it's Bit left against 4. USP in hand. He'll try and get a headshot. He's blinded. He does get a headshot. Did hit next, but didn't kill him. 15-3. Map and series point for Big to move on. And NTC, unfortunately, in their first event, would bow out at this juncture, having not made it to the Brazilian fans. But they've got to start somewhere.
Indeed. Bits 4-17, a little bit tragic for him considering he had such good performances on the train map that'll kick the series off. 15-3, it's just a formality at this point. I do not see a world or a universe perhaps where NTC managed to get 12 rounds in a row here. But all comebacks have to start at some point. Round 19, M4's available. No kits, no nades. It really is far from ideal here. Looks like a B split we set up for Big as well, as they'll have 3 players in towards the tunnels right now. They know there's not going to be an AWP available for the CTs. Tabson going to make his way through. Find the opening kill. That's Big going down, and Shello will get one. Smooya answers back quickly, and you can see CT spawn segregated right now by the Molotov. That's a great play. You can just buy time to get that bomb down. No kits there. That's going to be GG. And at this point, it would just be padding stats for the NTC players. I just don't see a way they could even get close to the sites, considering there's presence towards the tunnels. Got B, good for 1 kill at least. That's all he needs. And he gets the information as to where KNG is. Smooya in a good spot, but doesn't consider T-spawn. This could fall apart. I didn't think there was a chance in hell. As now, Tizian might actually go down here. We could have another round.
I think we might. More so because Tizian tried to get clever and was spotted. Nade, doesn't quite get KNG. He might think he's not on it because he knows he's tagged. He's holding it. Defuses done. We've got one more. 15-4. We at least get a little bit more life in them before this tournament expires.
Well, they somehow give that one up. Maybe a little bit too aggressive there towards the end. Smooya could have just been playing on the side, but wanted to fight in the tunnels. If he was just playing on the platform there, that was pretty much just a GG. But down he goes, and there is another round to be played at least. NTC now have an AWP, and the comeback really begins. I thought that one was an open shut case. With those first 2 kills coming in, the Molotov and CT spawn and no kits. It's one of the most difficult retakes CTs to have, but there it is. Round 20 does come through. Tizian will go forward and be taken down by himself there. Tried to be flashed out, but there will be an opening pick there from Phelps.
Smooya is going to work up as well. KNG to hold with the WP. Man advantage. Phelps barely alive, but is. So full-fledged catwalk approach. We haven't seen too many of these. That nade, that nade, is it a nade? It's a smoke. It's a flash as well, but if that had been an HE, even though they've got armor, that would have softened them up considerably. Put them in potential range for the M4's UMP. And even the AK if it wouldn't land a headshot. Further flash. Jumping down, potentially. Next takes out KNG as he overstepped the mark. Smooya's got FNX and it's gonna fall apart considerably. Not even seeing that default swing position from the AWP at what we used to call truck or car. It's now gonna be Smooya, and that's pretty convincing, I have to say, in the last round at 16-4 for Big.
It absolutely is. Not really much to talk about there from NTC. We know they're a new squad. They only played a couple of maps on land so far. I can't say much practice been done in dust2, though. That was a very basic game from them. And you could see all the setups at the CT side of Big were perfect. They had nice grenade setups at the start. Smooya was nice and assertive. They had taps in towards shore, using the AWP as well. And it just seemed like they were way too comfortable there. They weren't really ever pressured. I don't think NTC got any consecutive rounds of dust2 whatsoever. And it finishes 16-4. And then sadly for them, they do crash out the tournament and do not make it to the arena.
Bit a little slow to rise from his perch. He is the in-game leader, and he'll have a lot to work on after this event. Again, they have to start somewhere, but they would have loved to have exploded onto this scene as, you know, potentially they could have done as 100 Thieves when they were a little more fresh and versed, when they had Henny Lucas. Changes made, and look, I think there's potential here. I think KNG, again, going to that double up, I was impressed by Bit picking it up, but you've got a guy like FNX, you've got a guy like Phelps, you've got a guy like Cello. It's the ingredients are there.
Well, Matthew, that's all from us. That's going to be Big knocking out NTC, and for now, we'll throw it over to the boys on the desk.
Yeah, that camera shot does tell a great deal of the story there. KNG dejected, yet to rise from his chair as he realizes that him and his squad will not get to play their very favorite video game in front of the home crowd. It is demoralizing for them, but also a huge step in the right direction for Big, who are guaranteed now to meet the crowd and will be playing the loser of Mouse Sports versus Liquid in front of that sold-out arena tomorrow. Do have Sponge and Moses joining me just to review. It seems that, yes, NTC's best map is Train. We're still expanding that map pool, though.
Most importantly, though, Alex,